So for the autumn of 2014, BASF and Magdashim UK have come together to develop Metazachlor best practice advice for oilseed rape growers. So oilseed rape is one of the most profitable rape crops available to growers in the UK and is a key element of the crop rotation. Oilseed rape is especially important on heavy land where spring crop establishment can be difficult, and oilseed rape also provides an opportunity in the crop rotation to control problem grass and broadleaf weeds. Growers and agronomists need to understand how Metazachlor is getting into water in the first place. There are two sources of potential contamination of water. The first is farmyard sources, and these are related to the handling of product and the filling of sprayers within the farmyard environment. These are event driven but can be up to 50 to 60% of potential contribution. The second and more significant is the field sources, and this relates to spray drift, field drainage, surface runoff and leaching. So drift, for example, again is a very event driven and is anywhere from 5 to 10%. Runoff, which again is event driven, but this can be significant and so varies from anywhere from 20 to 50%. Drainage is the final potential area of contribution, and this is the most significant and most challenging and can be over 50%. This graphic shows one of the water catchments in the UK. The dotted line at the bottom is the 0.1 part per billion Water Framework Directive target, which we're looking to adhere to and growers need to be mindful of. As you can see, carbetamide and propyzamide are more significant. Then if you look at Metazachlor, which is the blue line along the bottom, there are peaks, but they aren't as significant as they are with carbetamide and propyzamide. But what we feel is by making small changes to farm practice, we could have a potential significant impact on reducing the levels of Metazachlor which are found in water. To reduce the threat of future regulatory restrictions on Metazachlor, BASF and Magdashim UK are working together to develop additional measures that must be defined for implementation in seasons 2015-16. So 2014 is the first part of that plan and will be developed going forward. What we're doing is targeting the best practice advice into the two sources of potential contamination. The first is farmyard, and we feel that by the action taken in terms of adoption of best practice and adherence to the VI guidelines which are already in place, we can tackle this significant but avoidable potential area of contamination. Field is the second source, and we split this into two: spray drift and runoff. And the action we feel that needs to be taken there is that growers need to follow spray application best practice advice, and this is contained within the VI guidelines. The second area of activity potentially is the establishment of vegetative buffer strips. Not only does this minimise drift, but it also reduces the potential source of runoff. The other area is around soil structure and seedbed preparation, and by attention to detail here, getting a good soil crumb structure, this minimises the potential movement of water and soil. The other key element and part of that agronomically is to establish winter oilseed rape earlier. And by this, we're saying that growers should target by the first week in September to have drilling complete. The second area within the field is drained land. And by drained land, we mean drains which are made of plastic or clay piping and overfilled with gravel backfill. It also includes temporary drainage such as mole drains. The action we need to take here is related to timing, and here we bring in the term thinking agronomically, because as we've talked about for spray drift and runoff, on drained land, attention to soil structure and seedbed preparation we feel is essential, and also to establish winter oilseed rape early, and by early we mean the first week in September. So to summarise, oilseed rape is a strategically important break crop to UK farmers. Its long-term viability is under threat if oilseed rape herbicides continue to be found in water. Metazachlor forms the platform to herbicide programmes in oilseed rape and is an essential component of grass and broadleaf weed control programmes this autumn. Regulatory pressures due to water pollution represent a real threat to the long-term availability of products containing Metazachlor. and measures need to be put in place to protect both groundwater and surface water. We've already talked about the two sources. Farmyard sources can be significant, but we feel can be avoided. Field sources represent a greater challenge, but we feel can be minimised by thinking agronomically. Our two key take-home messages are establishing crops early, ideally by the first week in September, and avoiding the use of Metazachlor-based herbicides on drained land after the end of September. The stewardship guidelines that I've outlined for 2014 for Metazachlor-based products, this advice is available on the website of BASF and on the website of Magnashim UK. We will also be talking about it more widely in the press to raise the level of awareness related to this issue. The water protection advice sheets will also be reissued for Metazachlor, and they will be available again on both the company website and also from the Voluntary Initiative website.
BASF, the chemical company.